Hello and welcome into this week's edition of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Rewind Show. I'm Garth Allen. This is Racing News Now. And if you missed last night's truck race, we've got you covered right here. We are going to break down the 2023 edition of the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, race number 2. Numero dos of the 2023 Craftsman Truck Series season. And this was a pretty exciting race. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're a longtime viewer of this channel, you will know that I can be critical of these races when I feel that it is necessary. And I usually am fairly critical of Vegas races. Let's be honest. I've not been a huge fan of the racing that Vegas has put on a lot of the time in the past few years. But this race, honestly, was pretty good. But as you've come to expect this season, we're not going to get too deep into my opinions here on the Rewind Show. We're saving that for the Rookie Stripes podcast on Wednesday at 6 p.m. or the audio version out earlier than that. As usual, there's a link in the description. If you are not already following or subscribed to Rookie Stripes on your favorite podcast platform, the link is down below in the description to find that. But let's talk about the truck race. 2 incidents to talk about in this race. Overall, like I said, great racing in this race. We're going to look at coming to 3 laps to go in stage number 1. A great battle for the lead, for the stage win, going between Zane Smith and Ty Majeski. Christian Eckes, though, coming up right behind them. He is going to make this a 3-way battle for the lead. As we come off of turn 4 here, Eckes is going to get a huge run down the front stretch. He is up to the bumper of the 38 truck as we cross the line down into turn 1. He's going to split the middle. There almost wasn't enough room there, but he made it in the middle. The middle has been kind of treacherous all night, but he is making it work through turns 1 and 2 with 2.5 laps left in the stage. We are 3 wide for the lead. We go down into turn 3, though, and Eckes is going to break loose behind Majeski. Almost loses it, but he saves it. An incredible save for Christian Eckes, able to keep that truck in one piece. But that takes him out of the running for the stage win with Zane Smith and Matt DiBenedetto now up front. Zane Smith would end up winning the stage over Majeski and DiBenedetto. Fast forward now to the end of stage number 2. Carson Hocevar leads over Ben Rhodes and a gaggle of trucks behind them fighting for those last stage points in the stage. Everybody going every which way. We're 4 wide off of turn 2. Eckes, Deegan, Nemechek, Heim 4 wide. That's not going to work. Deegan ends up bouncing off of Nemechek, and Eckes spins the 17 of Nemechek as well as herself. And that would be the end of stage number 2. Carson Hocevar comes to the green and white checkered and the caution flag to win stage number 2. Now, I want to make it known that I'm not blaming Deegan for that. It may have sounded the way I described that like I was saying that was Deegan's fault. It absolutely was not. She was in a very tough position there in 4 wide. Nemechek stuck it in there 4 wide off of turn 2 and made that very tough for her to control there off of turn number 2. Just an unfortunate racing incident coming to the end of the stage. Everybody trying to get everything that they possibly can to end the stage. And unfortunately, Deegan and Nemechek come out on the worst end of it. So with Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar picking up very valuable playoff points by winning both of the stages in this race, we actually went caution-free for the entirety of the final stage in this race. And again, we saw some good racing throughout that final stage. Now, you might be asking yourself, now, wait a minute. Didn't I see Kyle Busch on the entry list for this race? How did he not win either stage? Where was he? What happened to him? Well, he was on a bit of an off-pit strategy, kind of going more for the win than he was for the stage points, which is understandable given that he's not running the full season, so a stage win really doesn't do a lot for him. The race win is what he's there for, and it ended up playing out in his favor. Kyle Busch is your winner of the Victoria's Voice Foundation 200 from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, starting off the weekend of his triple header from his home track with a win. Could he possibly be doing the sweep this weekend? He's done it once at Bristol before. Could he be doing it at Vegas this weekend at his home track? He wasn't super happy with his colleague Xfinity car earlier in the day, so that, I think, is going to be the trickiest part of the weekend for him. If he's able to pull out a win tomorrow in the Xfinity race, watch out. That's a very motivated Kyle Busch, and he very well might pick up the entire sweep for the weekend, trucks, Xfinity, and Cup. But let's look at the rest of your top 10 results from this race. Zane Smith came home in the second position. Great run for him with Ben Rhodes third, Corey Heim fourth, and Ty Majeski in the fifth position. The rest of your top 10 were Christian Eckes, another strong run for him to start the season. Carson Hocevar seventh, your stage 2 winner. Chase Purdy, strong run in his second race for Kyle Busch Motorsports, came home in eighth. Brandon Finger ninth. And Jake Garcia in the second McAnally Hilgeman truck came home in the top 10 in the 10th position. So let's take a quick look at your point standings, your playoff grid following this race now that we are 2 races into the season. Zane Smith still the only driver locked into the playoffs, as Kyle Busch cannot lock himself into the Truck Series playoffs. But Zane Smith also now has taken over the overall points lead in his quest for a second straight regular season championship as well. He sits now 2 points over Ty Majeski and 4 over Christian Eckes. Matt Kraft and Ben Rhodes are the rest of your top 5, and then you see the rest of the top 10 there. Chase Purdy making his way into the top 10 this week in his bid for a playoff run. Corey Heim and Tyler Ankrum just outside of the top 10, 3 points apiece outside of the top 10 behind Chase Purdy following the Vegas race. And that's your playoff grid following race number 2 of the 2023 Craftsman Truck Series season. Almost said Camping World Truck Series season. I'm not quite used to Craftsman just yet. It has been a while since we have consistently called it the Craftsman Truck Series, so I'm still getting used to it, but nevertheless, I will get used to it because it is very nice to be calling it that once again. But that is it for tonight. Xfinity race later today from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We will have a rewind show of that. Again, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Time will be the premiere time, as has been the case this season for these, and has been the case for this rewind show as well. So tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. If you missed the Xfinity race, you can check that out as well. And then Cup Series on Sunday from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Rookie Stripes will be Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, as we have talked about. Again, the audio version usually out before that, so follow and subscribe if you don't want to wait for the video version on Wednesdays to hear Tyler and my thoughts on this weekend's action from Vegas, St. Pete IndyCar, Bahrain F1, everything for the weekend. So, ought to be a fun time. But that is going to do it for us on this Truck Series Rewind show, so we will see you tomorrow morning for the Xfinity Rewind. At that, I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.